Our last tutorial was an overview of the concepts and terminology in templates. This tutorial introduces the use of variables and parameters. Variables are dimensions that you can vary or change. Parameters hold equations that use those dimensions. In templates, each control you attach to a pattern gets its final value from either a variable or a parameter. Most controls are linked to a parameter, which gets its final value from one or more variables. For example, this control is linked to parameter f, which gets its value from the variable front width. Sometimes controls can get their value directly from a variable. This control is linked to the variable named depth. You'll create those links in the tool window. When a control is selected and active, click the drop-down, then select its link from an alphabetized list of all the variables and parameters you've already created. Variables hold dimensions, typically dimensions you can measure on the finished product. In this cushion example, the dimensions are back width, depth, front width, corner radius, and thickness. Creating a new variable is easy. Suppose we want to position marks on the front boxing pattern for a handle location. We need to know how wide to make the handle, so we'll create a new variable for it. Clicking the Add button at the bottom of the Variables window will open the Parameters tab on the ribbon. We'll name our new variable Handle Width, and we'll give it an initial value of 5 inches. Most variables are used for length measurements, which is the default. You can set your units for your variable from this drop-down. Whenever a variable represents an angle measurement, set the type drop-down to Angle. This will ensure that templates uses your variable correctly in trig or geometry calculations. Since variables only hold dimensions, there isn't an equation to evaluate, so we can just click Accept. Our new variable has been added to the list. Parameters are more flexible than variables. They can hold algebraic expressions, the formulas that set the final dimensions applied to a control. We can create a new parameter in the same way as a new variable. When we click the Add button in the Parameters window, the Parameters tab opens. We can use one parameter to locate both the left and right marks, since the measurement from either end to the marks is the same. We'll call them HM for handle marks. In addition to length and angle, there's a third option in the Type drop-down for parameters, Tool. Tool is used for special cases when you want to set the cutting or marking tool to be used for a pattern element. The tool and angle parameter types are covered in detail in the tutorial on element controls. We've named our new parameter and set its type to length. Now we can enter the algebraic expression that will compute the final value. We've already created a parameter called BL that computes the length of the front boxing pattern. The formula for HM will be half the boxing length minus half the handle width. Expressions can include anything you would put into a spreadsheet formula. When you click the Functions button, you'll see a list of all the built-in functions with short descriptions. While you're entering a formula, you can insert a function by typing its name or by selecting it from the function drop-down. You can insert operators from the operator drop-down in the same way. Click Evaluate to make sure your expression calculates correctly, then click Accept. Notice that our new parameter has been added to the list of parameters. Now we can add horizontal extender controls to the boxing pattern to set the final positions for handle marks. If you need to edit a formula, mouse over the parameter and click on the Settings icon. Now you can edit the parameter in the ribbon. Delete a parameter in a similar way. Mouse over the parameter and click the Delete icon. To change a variable, just double-click it and type the new value. Press Enter to accept your change. There are often times when you want to create a text variable. For example, you might need to add an order number or a customer name to a pattern. We'll switch to the PatternSmith editor and add an order number. Any text that you put between angle brackets is considered a placeholder to be replaced with a final value later. This will be the placeholder for an order number. When Templates finds a placeholder in your patterns, it automatically inserts it into your list of variables. I'll replace it with an order number. Now, when I apply variables, the placeholder text is replaced by the order number I entered. The next tutorial will introduce the use of template point controls.